Yo, what's up guys? So as you can see here, we have Betfas in the clan right now. He's currently #1 in the world with Expo. So in this video, we're going to be going over some of the games that got him there. And yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy the gameplay. Alright, so for the first game here, he's going to be up against Asaph. And Asaph is actually a really good player in my opinion. I do have him added on my friends list, and pretty much the only one who's able to consistently finish in the top 100 with the Goblin Drill cycle. And in fact, I think his best finish is top 2 or something, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, you don't really see any other people running Goblin Drill on top ladder besides him. And that's actually kind of unfortunate that Betfas' Knight didn't take care of all the goblins there, so it does end up taking quite a bit of damage to start off. This is one of those matchups where you don't really want to fall behind in single, or else it can be like really hard to recover. But yeah, like 1000 damage there. He's going in with the early BM, the laughing face. I mean, to be honest, I would too, because it's gonna be pretty difficult to come back from this. So I don't know if like Valkyrie or Skeleton King is better for the opponent. And I feel like Skeleton King can be a little bit annoying for Expo because you kind of have to log it, but then there's also a lot of other cards you want to log in the matchup, like the Dark Goblin and of course the Goblin Drill. So it's kind of, he has like a lot of bait. Oh yeah, I forgot the Skeleton Army as well. So I feel like I would rather the opponent be running Valkyrie, but that's just my preference. And yeah, it's actually going to be a lot of trouble for Asaph here. Doesn't get the best defense off in the Expo. He goes in with the late log on the Skeleton Army. So Wallbreakers are going to clean up the Expo, but just like that, he's going to be up damage, about 1000 now. See, as I was saying, like, no one really uses Goblin Drill up high on ladder except for Asaph. But he's been pretty much one-tricking it ever since Minor Wallbreakers became bad in the meta. It's just been, like, the new deck that he's been using. So, yeah, entering double elixir now. He actually did get quite a lot of damage on the left side, but this is also one of those matchups where you kind of want to go in the opposite lane. And I do think it gets better. This matchup's weird. I feel like in single it's pretty bad because if you get in a bad cycle, they can get like a lot of damage from their Goblin Drills. And then double elixir, I feel like it's probably better for Expo. I don't really know why, but I just know in triple and single, it's a lot worse for you. Because like in single, they can mess up your cycle, and triple, they just go like Goblin Drill Fireball and don't get punished. But I feel like double's the sweet spot where they can't really go too aggressive without being punished with an Expo. So it's like your best opportunity to try to get a lock. And actually a pretty big mistake, the Skeleton King comes down late there, which allows the right hand tower to go all the way down to 600 HP, which means that should be like 2 fireball, 2 log, or maybe 2 fireballs and 1 log. So at this point it's pretty much just defending, making sure not just like a Goblin Drill or anything connected tower. And yeah, he's like spamming everything at the bridge, kind of in a last-ditch effort to get some tower damage. So just playing it safe, not going log on tower yet, even though I'm pretty sure Fireball Log would do 344 damage. Yeah, definitely would. But he's actually going to play it safe once again, just go log low, make sure to take care of all the skeletons first. And probably set up with a Tesla here for the Wallbreakers. And yeah, after this defense, it should be safe to go in with the Fireball. I didn't actually watch these replays yet, I just kind of like recorded them and like went away. Because I'm going to like be watching them anyways again for the video. So yeah, Fireball finishes off the game here. Really well played against one of the best drill players in the world, and just one of like the best cycle players in general. Okay, so for the next match here, we have Betfas at the top. This time facing Remy Ellie, who's going to be using Minor Wallbreaker cycle. And it's actually kind of funny. I think this guy also has a #2 finish, just like Asaph, and they both run pretty similar decks. So I think this is in Expo's favor, just because of the fact that Remy Ellie doesn't actually run a log in this deck, which means like just Fireball by itself isn't that effective at dealing with an Expo, but combined with log, it leaves it at like very minimal HP. So it's kind of awkward for him if he has to like Fireball and Tornado just to get enough damage to finish off an Expo. Because if you leave Expo at 1 HP and you don't have like a log for it, it'll get like 1000 damage. So that actually is quite a significant factor when like considering the matchup against these type of Minor Wallbreaker decks, is if they have a log or not. So not really anything too extraordinary happening so far in the match. Betfas is going to be down a tiny bit of damage, but it's always one of those matchups where you can come back and double or triple elixir. But Remy does have the early damage lead so far. So it goes with an interesting minor in the back. Probably just like cycling it in the back to bait out the Archqueen ability. So that he'll have like his Valkyrie cycle about the time like the queen crosses the bridge. And okay, he actually goes Expo. But yeah, that was probably another reason why he didn't want to use his Valk or anything like immediately, because he wants to save it for the Expo, since it's pretty hard to defend their Expos if you don't have a mini tank or something like a Knight or a Valk. So yeah, shut down the Expo pretty nicely. Betfas still has not got any damage on either tower, but entering double elixir he's probably going to start going pretty aggressive, I would think. Just has to set up a Tesla preemptively on defense. And wow, that was actually super unfortunate that both those wall breakers connected. And notice how he set the Tesla off, like, oh, that was a nice prediction on the Magic Archer as well. Remy's gonna fireball that, but because it pushes the Knight to the side, the Magic Archer is not gonna line up. And yeah, as I was saying, he put the Tesla a little bit off to the side, because if he placed it right in front of the tower, then Remy could just go with the Magic Archer at the bridge to snipe the Tesla, and it would probably catch him off guard and get some damage. So yeah, that's why he wants to play his Teslas like a little bit offsided. So yeah, this is gonna be an easy defense on the Expo. Probably to his Bomb Tower Valk and then fireball everything. Although Tesla will get some nice DPS down on that Bomb Tower, but still is gonna shut down the Expo without any significant damage on the left side yet. So we just have to find a way to make a comeback. All you need in this matchup is like one Expo block, because as I said earlier, if they don't have that small spell to finish off your Expo, then you can often get a lot of damage that way. So just taking the fireball off from the Magic Archer, I actually think he meant to kite the Archqueen with that Valkyrie kind of like into the opposite lane, but it didn't really work out. So we had to tornado it, kind of wasting more elixirs than he would have liked. So yeah, after having to overspend on that Archqueen, Expo was going to lock because he didn't have enough to really do too much to that Expo. And probably tornado that back. I can see it's really annoying for him to have to tornado wanting to be exposed, because it's 3 elixir and he would much rather like use that elsewhere. And once again, tries to kite the Archqueen with the Valkyrie, but it ends up shooting the tower. I think the timing is like a tiny bit hard to pull off, but it is possible to fully counter a queen if they use the ability at the right time and you kite it with like a Knight or a Valk. But yeah, at this point, just to get down like one more fireball, should leave it at 3 HP since fireball is like 274. So yeah, it's trying to go last ditch effort with the Magic Archer Tornado, but a nice queen ability there. And then Log finishes off the match. So even though this is in Expo's favor, Remy has been like one-tricking this deck for so long, and I often see him win the matchup. So next up here we have Expo versus Expo. It's not exactly a mirror matchup because Angel here is going to be running Rocket and the Valkyrie, but it's still pretty close, and I often struggle versus like facing other Expo decks. Like, it's one of the matchups that I haven't really mastered yet, and I probably lose it more than I should, so definitely curious to see how Betfas is going to play it. So off with the early Archqueen on both sides. He's going to go with the well-timed ability though, which is going to force Betfas to use his Knight, which is actually kind of annoying in this matchup if they use their Queen and make you have to play your Knight, because, and I think part of the reason Betfas went Expo there is because he knew if he didn't go Expo, then the opponent would go Expo, and he wouldn't have his Knight in cycle for it, which would be a little bit problematic, because then if he went like a Valkyrie in front, then it just might be a little bit difficult to deal with the Expo. So instead of waiting for the opponent to go in there and he had like a bad cycle to defend, he just had to go offensive himself a little bit early, and it does end up paying off. He gets a ton of damage there, bringing the tower all the way down to 2300 HP. And this is one of those matchups where if you get a lot of damage in single elixir, then it's pretty much going to be a good game as long as you defend properly. But the opponent does have like the rocket cycle, so he has to watch out for that. You can't really rocket cycle in double elixir though. It's like it's a punishable play. Like, I see a lot of even Expo players in like top 200 ladder like rocket cycling in double elixir and immediately getting punished for it, and it's like not really something you want to do. Only in triple elixir, if you like have a defensive Expo up, is when you want to start throwing those rockets. But The opponent does get like a decent offense here, bringing the tower down to 2,900, but still about a 600 damage lead here on Betfas' side. So entering double elixir now, I think they want to set up like defensive exposed in double, but he actually decided to go offensive, so not something I would have done probably, but I don't think it really matters, since it's gonna like probably be easy for both opponents, for both players here to defend each other's expos. Okay, actually I misspoke because they both do end up getting a lock on tower, but Betfas will come out in the damage lead still by about like 1,000 HP. And the opponent, he's gonna get his Valk down late. Doesn't really matter if he took the whole queen though, because it would pretty much just even out the damage anyways. So let's see here. Opponent well-timed skeletons, or well-placed skeletons, to kite the Valk back as well as Electro Spirit. So we just have to waste an Archer Queen or anything like that. And yeah, he's gonna go rocket on the Expo. I'm actually surprised that the opponent didn't decide to rocket tower there, because personally that's what I would have done, because like he's down a lot of damage, and that's pretty much the only way he's gonna be able to like try to come back is through the rocket cycle. But I assume he's gonna do the same thing here, just like rocket the defensive Expo. It is a good play to rocket their Expo, like assuming the tower damage is somewhat even, but just considering how much damage Betfas is up, you have to think the opponent like is kind of panicking now and is thinking of ways to get damage every way possible. But no, he just keeps rocketing the defensive Expos, probably setting up to try to get an offense off, but at this point it's just too late. One more fireball log is going to finish off the game. He's probably going to go for one last effort here with the offensive Expo, but as you can see, what Betfas needs to do is go with one more fireball. It's a really clean match against another Expo deck if you ever like want to know how to play against all these Expo rocket decks. It's not exactly like Icebow, but it's a pretty similar variant. Okay, so last up here we have the game that got Betfas to #1 in the world, and he's going to be against Doom, which is a really good lava player. I think he has a few other accounts called like Blueface and Asuna. You might have like seen them on Top Ladder before. But yeah, I just know this guy has a lot of accounts that he runs with like different names. But he's one of the best Lava Hound players in the world. And I think this is a good matchup for Expo, to be honest. Like, it should be probably 70-30 at the very least. But if you're facing like one of the best at a deck, then it's still going to be not too easy. And actually, a really interesting Lava Hound on the opponent's end. I don't really agree with that, because he's supposed to deal with the Archer Queen on the other side. And then Tesla is pretty much going to finish off everything on the defensive end. So going in with a Mega Minion, maybe just trying to take advantage of the fact that Betfas does not have an Archer Queen in cycle, but as long as the Tesla can finish off the Lava Hound, then he can just go with like a late Fireball to finish everything off here. So yeah, definitely a questionable play on the opponent's end, to say the least, since that Queen got a lot of hits on the left tower, bring it down to 2,200 HP. So let's see here, he's probably gonna... Actually, he doesn't even have Lava Hound in cycle, so he has to cycle Skelly Drags or something in the back first. He might be waiting for Betfas to Expo just so he can Valkyrie Balloon on top of it, since I won't fully shut it down, but it's pretty much just like a free opportunity to Archer Queen and then use the ability. And it's also helping him cycle back to Expo. And by the time Betfas has another Expo in hand, then the opponent, like, he won't be back to like a balloon for it, so it might be pretty difficult to defend. But we are entering double elixir now, so probably going to see Doom here start to go for a lot more Lava Hounds in the back, just to try to build up really big pushes, try to get some damage on tower, since he's down quite a bit. And without a miner or anything, you kind of need a balloon hit in this matchup to try to win, since you don't have the opportunity to just like miner arrow chip the whole time, which some Lava Hound decks can do. Like the variants with Flying Machine and Skeleton Dragons, which are typically a lot harder to face than this classic Lava Loon. So let's see here, go to Skeleton Dragons. It's probably going to be a free Fireball in defense, but he kind of wants to wait just to make sure it's possible to hit everything. And we'll actually end up taking quite a bit of damage here, so not the most optimal defense, but still does the job. And tower damage is about even right now. He's probably going to Fireball the Queen instead of going Balloon, because if you want Balloon, then the Archer Queen would just like shred through everything. And then he had to go with another Expo, and it would be pretty hard to defend without a Balloon cycle. So let's see here, probably going to log their Tombstone just to kill it as fast as possible. so that he can set up for another Expo. And it does get the pretty good reaction time down, like the tombstone. So Expo is not going to be able to connect. Probably goes Lava Hound now just because Betfas is still, I think, 2 or 3 cards off of Expo. So it's always a good time to play your win condition when they don't have their Expo in cycle. So I think he's probably going to set up for the defense here. I don't know if he wants to Expo. Looks like he will. Wow. That was surprising, but to be honest, I would have gone Expo like a couple of tiles more to the right. Or at least, like, or maybe for him it would be like to the left. You're saying from like Betfas' perspective, because then he could do the trick where you pull the balloon all the way across the map. But with that side Expo placement, it's not possible to pull the balloon. But it's interesting that he did decide to place it there. So let's see here. He is actually down a couple hundred damage, which is not like that good when you're entering triple elixir, since it's often times where the Lava Hound player has the easiest time defending, since they can cycle like to their Valks pretty fast and have enough elixir to fireball and defense and everything. Oh wow, that was actually a really nice log. It's gonna retarget the Expo onto the tower because it pushes the Valkyrie out of range. Then after the tombstone's dead, Expo will walk again. And with only 40 seconds left here, he doesn't really have a choice except for to try to get something going on the right, because he's down about 500 damage and Expo has a really fast cycle, so there's no way you can out-chip with fireball zaps in that amount of time. So just spamming Skelly drags behind, but Archer Queen is gonna clean everything up. He knows he can't go Lava Hound like into an Archer Queen, it wouldn't really do anything, especially with the 2 Teslas up. So yeah, fireball in the King Tower. Looks like he will be throwing in the towel, which will allow Betfas to win and secure him the #1 spot in the world. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video, maybe learned a thing or two. And also, yeah, thanks for Betfas for allowing me to show some of his gameplay on the channel. Be sure to check him out. I'll link his Twitter in the description below. And yeah.